We are Team Orange, and we've had the sensors for a while now, and we are finally starting to put them on the subs. So it's not too complicated of a process, but it's really tedious. There's soldering and programming, and it takes a lot of attention to detail. So we're making this video to give the full explanation of the process.
So for adding the sensors to our sub requires many tools. These are the tools that are required. The Arduino board on the electronics tray, the sensor board, the two sensors, temperature and depth, the penetrator wrench, the soldering iron, the solder, the flux, grease, wire cutters, and the heat gun and the respective heat shrink.
Okay, so we're going to discuss safety with the heat gun and the soldering iron. So for the heat gun, you have to make sure to not point it at anybody while it's turned on because it will burn somebody. Make sure not to leave it unattended while it's plugged in, or someone may not know it's on and they'll burn themselves. Make sure you always have goggles on when using the soldering iron and the heat gun. The same rules apply to the soldering iron. Make sure you do not keep it plugged in and walk away because someone will burn themselves.
So this is what the sensor board looks like, and one side, if you flip it over, says ground, SDA, SCL, and 5 volt, and the other side says ground, SDA, SCL, VCC. And you want to use the side that has 5 volt on the bottom because you are connecting to the 5 volt side of the power converter. So basically, you take these pins, which come in the bag, and it doesn't matter which way they're turned, but you want the shorter end to come out through the bottom and these to come through the top, and then you just add a little bit of solder to each of the pins on the bottom.
Okay, so in order to give the sensor some power, we had to strip the 5 volt side, had to strip back the casings of the black and the red being power, black being ground, had to strip the wire back, wrap a female end piece of wire around it, solder it, put some heat shrink over it, and then do that 2 times on each side.
So for the installation of the sensors, they go into the end cap, and right now they're not in, but they would go there, and on the ends of them are the wires that come and they plug in into the 2 sensor boards, which are located right here and here. And each sensor board has 4 different wires, and they have a red one, which is the power, a blue, which is ground, a yellow, which is SDA, and a green, which is SCL. And the red and the blue plug into the 5 volt battery converter, which they go right here and right here. And then the SDA and the SCL go into the Arduino board, which are located right there and right there.
It's very important to make sure that all the penetrators are greased, taped, and tightened before testing. First, we are going to grease the O-rings and apply plumber's tape to each sensor. As you can see, these are already implemented, and this will ensure a quality seal to avoid leakage. Placement of the sensors doesn't matter, but for this project we are placing them here and here. And so now we're going to slip them in. And now we are going to tighten the nuts on each one using a wrench.
Make sure they see it.
A wrench. Then we're actually going to plug them into the actual sensor boards, which doesn't matter.
So currently, we are not working on the sensor programming. This is for a multitude of reasons. One is that we believe that this program that they offer, the sample code, is actually for the Arduino Uno board, where we have the Arduino Mega. And also, we've been preoccupied with the actual thrusters, getting the thrusters to work in the camera. But in a perfect world, the sensor code, the sample code that they provided, should have worked and would be able to get most of the data from the serial monitor here, which won't come up because it's not plugged in, through the tether.
So the number that the sensors give us is in millivolts, and they found a program that helps us figure out how to convert it without us having to actually do the math. And so when we get the number, this one is for dry test, and so we put a check for temperature and then a check here for depth to make sure that we also have one for the pool. And then we write here in the notes section the exact data that we got back. Okay, so this is our current electronics diagram, and like Jake said, we do not currently have the board that is needed to make the sensors function. But assuming we did, it would still have the same input. So on the Arduino board, there's an SDA and an SCL, and then there's also another SDA and SCL on this row. So it doesn't matter which one goes where, as long as SDA from the sensor board goes to SDA on the Arduino board, and same applies to SCL. The ground and the power are going to plug into the 5-volt converter down here.